Zenray here. Welcome, Nick Nation, my band of brothers who will be on with Jupiter Tubi in a few. We found out some details concerning possible trade. Donovan Mitchell traded to an unknown team, source says it. A Utah radio station mentions this a few hours back, but the suspicion that 4 hours ago as well, Donovan Mitchell tweets, "God is good." We'll be back with Jupiter Tubi to speak about the speculations, if this trade is true or is there a hoax out there happening. But something may be brewing here. The unknown. Stand by. We'll be back with Jupiter Tubi, family above everything. Welcome, Jupiter Tubi, family above everything. How are we doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, man. How you guys doing today? Nick Nation, salute to you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day, man. Twitter and social media has been going bananas, guys. Crazy. I know you guys, they're just rumors, guys. Don't get ahead of ourselves, but a lot of good sources, a lot of apparently things that are coming out of the city of Utah. So we'll see what happens as this thing rolls out, and we can only wait and find out to know for certain. But how you guys doing tonight?
Well, we're doing good, man. A lot of speculations. I stopped a lot of my planned events just to get this done with you, and I'm glad you called me and kind of kept me up to date. Luis Diaz, welcome. Luis Diaz is saying he got traded to Milwaukee to Giannis, and the rumors continue. Hey, Luis, man, I appreciate you, brother. Hey, listen, everybody else is jabbing in on who got traded where. Luis is just putting his 2 cents in, and thank you, Luis. That's actually a good one, man. If that happened, I think Leon Rose will be president of the year if we got Giannis here in New York. But what else have you been hearing? They're saying the sources of this guy Jake and Ben. I think they're a radio station in Utah, the Sports Zone, sports leader in Utah, the radio home of the Utah Jazz, 1280, as well as 97.5 FM and 1280 AM. Jake and Ben from Utah. From what you heard, is these guys are reliable source, as good as who?
As good as Ian Bagley is to us Knicks fans, and Adrian Wojnarowski to the rest of the NBA. I've been on social media all day, and according to what I've been hearing, this guy, first we start off, of course, with Donovan Mitchell 4 hours ago saying God is good. Now you wonder why he states God is good. That's just a randomized kind of tweet. You don't want to look in too much into it, but I just find it funny how it was all went into play with everything. And then here is the audio. I know you guys have been hearing it, or you heard it on social media today, but I'll give you a little play of it, of what was said today, approximately at 1:57 p.m.
Okay. But I've been receiving texts as we speak that the Donovan Mitchell deal is done. It's agreed upon.
Wow.
that they're working out some final details to have it.
Okay.
But
so that's one of them. A lot of rumors, like I said, are going on in the NBA. Stuff that the Utah Jazz are trading Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks for 5 first-round picks: Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, and Evan Fournier. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but like I said, these are just rumors right now, guys. Nothing has been confirmed by Ian Bagley, by Adrian Wojnarowski, by any of our known sources. So as we all sit back here and kind of wait, and we don't even know if this deal is done with the Knicks. They just said that a deal is done. So we can only hope as Knicks fans that Donovan Mitchell is here, but we can always also hope that it's not for the farm.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as Luis Diaz saying we got him for Giannis in Milwaukee. I would rather have that trade, man. 1 for 1. I mean, but look, a lot of speculations out there, Juby. I appreciate you going out there. And we have G-Man 78, man. Welcome. They say he didn't mention a team. I pray it's the Knicks. Look, if it's 5 picks, Fournier, Obi, and Grimes, as much as it hurts me to lose Obi, I don't know, man. I'm split right in the middle, but you have to give something to get something. Obi right now is coming off the bench because still that reassures that Randall is going to be the starting power forward for the Knicks. So Keith Turner, salutes, brother. Welcome. So I don't know, Juby. It's a lot of stuff, speculations going on. I say, if I had to take a guess, this is a 50-50 kind of thing. This is a flip of a coin. I'm an OB guy, Juby. I can't believe they traded OB in this trade. What do you think? If you were a betting man, Juby, has this trade occurred?
We're still waiting for confirmation on the trade. So nothing is yet confirmed by Ian Begley or Adrian Wojnarowski. But gotta be honest, guys. I mean, me and Zenray been talking, and as much as all of us love Obi Toppin, and I'm a big Obi Toppin fan. If you guys have been watching us all season, I've been wanting free Obi. The fact of the matter is, guys, is that 2 seasons ago, the Knicks signed Julius Randle to $105 million plus, and they invested in him. And as much as we don't like to believe it or want to keep going with Julius Randle, he's a Knick. They signed Jalen Brunson, who's an official point guard, who's a ball facilitator, who's going to be running this offense. And they feel with Brunson, RJ, Julius Randle, and possible Donovan Mitchell, they could make some noise in the NBA. So as far as Obi Toppin, listen, he's a human highlight film. He has the potential to be the Amari Stoudemire of past days. And I think a lot of teams are definitely interested in him and Quentin Grimes. Those are the 2 names that I keep hearing that the Utah Jazz are. You never hear Emmanuel Quickly. We haven't heard Quickly at all. We've heard Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, and draft picks. We heard RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson. That was the first package that Danny Ainge asked for. I don't know what Danny Ainge was thinking, but I got to give him credit. He went for the big package, and he got turned down, of course, by Knicks management because that was just absurd. But we got to just wait and see, guys. Like I said, this is just rumors. Something just came in right now, guys. And this is a reliable source. So I'll share it with you guys right now, kind of give you guys a little bit of peace of mind. It says the Knicks and Jazz have made significant progress. Over the last 24 hours, Donovan Mitchell trade talks are good, but nothing has been agreed upon yet. Both sides are expected to come to an agreement within the next few days, and Utah understands the Knicks have the best packages available in the NBA. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. That's some good news for me. Hopefully Obi's still here as a Knick moving forward, but only time will tell. Zenray, what do you feel about that?
Look, I'm an Obi supporter, and I think a lot of Knick Nation, just hearing the word Obi, like Henry Perez, welcome Henry, brother. He says, I hope we didn't give up Obi and Grimes and IQ. But, IQ I don't think is in the picture. But, Henry, I come to be like a realist, and I look at Juby, and he said it. You were going to have to give an Obi in this trade. And I think that's who they were targeting, all along was Obi and Grimes. So if that happened, we're getting back a Donovan Mitchell. It would hurt me. I'm an Obi guy. My outro is about Obi. So I would have to do a lot of changes on my end as well. And getting used to Obi, man. He's just a human highlight film coming off that bench for the Knicks. So thank you, Henry, for your point. And also Keith also agrees with you, Juby. He mentions that they're already invested in Randall. The first office don't see him as the way fans, but Randall will be a much better fit with Brunson. Look, I agree, man, because Brunson was brought here to make everybody better. Randall doesn't have to bring the ball up. Randall doesn't have to be feeling like he has to be pressured and doing so much, and he had so many turnovers because he was trying to do too much as a power forward. You bring it up Brunson, it alleviates a lot of Randall's responsibilities. And also, it helps Tibbs out because Tibbs was giving Randall a whole bunch on his plate. He couldn't handle half the stuff on his plate. At times he did, and he was very inconsistent, obviously. But I agree with Keith, and I'm starting to agree a lot with Nick Nation. But remember, if this trade is true, we received Donovan Mitchell.
And
Donovan Mitchell, think about it.
Just listen to that lineup, guys. I mean, if that trade does come into into reality, we got Julius, we got Donovan Mitchell, we got RJ Barrett, and we got Brunson. And don't forget, we still have that $5 million level exception. There's still some free agents out there. There's a Jackson out there. There's a old Nick that we're not going to touch up on today that may be out there for us as well. So, I mean, I know we're going to be losing a possible Quentin Grimes and an Obi Toppin. But I always said, guys, in order for you to get something in this league, you got to give something. And right now, our 2-star points are are Obi Toppin and Quentin Grimes, especially after the summer league that Quentin Grimes had, coming second at MVP in the summer league, and the Knicks falling short of winning the summer league championship. So it's really tough. I know the reality is us Knicks fans would love to keep the whole young crew together and offer Julius and Evan Fournier and 9 picks if we could. But the fact of the matter is we got the assassin on the other end, and the assassin knows what he's doing. So it's a staring contest right now. That's basically what it is, guys.
Yeah, I agree. And Anthony Barker, welcome, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, Anthony, welcome.
Listen, are we going to get Donovan Mitchell? The rumors speculate that we are going to get him. For what? The rumor is Fournier, Obi, Grimes, and 5 number 1 picks. Now, once again, that's a rumor. That's hearsay from a Utah radio station. That's what they're getting. That's the insight. So they're from Utah. That's the insight they're getting. A lot of Utah fans and followers of Utah Jazz, they're concurring about this trade. They're still speculating what players are, but the 3 main players they mentioned was Obi, Grimes, and Fournier.
And 5 first-round draft picks.
5 number 1 picks, yes. So once we get clarification from our New York people like Ian Bagley and a Woj, then we could confirm it a little bit more. So with that said, Anthony, I appreciate your question and everything. And let's hope, man, Obi wasn't one of the guys. But look, if it's Obi, Grimes, and Fournier and 5 number 1 guys, we got Donovan Mitchell. So that makes our team much, much better. Thank you, Anthony.
It doesn't make us a championship contender, guys. But remember, we gotta build a foundation. We have to be an attractive destination. For years, NBA superstars has used the Knicks for leverage to bring up their salary, to bring up their money. They all say they want to play for New York and how wonderful place New York is to play in. But let's look at it. We got Amari Stoudemire. We overpaid for him. We got Evan Fournier. We overpaid for him. He's not a superstar, but the only real star that we've had is Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony wanted to come here because he was from Syracuse and he was originally from New York area. So that's why he was willing to come here. But all these guys, a LeBron James, a Dwayne Wade, I can take you as back as what was his name? Dan Marley and, Kobe Bryant all used to say, we would love to play for New York. The Knicks is the best place to play, and it's the mecca of basketball. Nobody came here. So now if you have a team like Donovan Mitchell, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and a Brunson, and you play and you're competitive and you're exciting to watch, this is going to open the eyes of a lot of superstars that are in the NBA, and it's a good way to start.
I agree. Welcome, Henry. Welcome, man. How you doing, my friend? Obi. We want Obi. Please don't trade him. I feel the same way, Henry. It's like something is being pulled out of me, man. I don't know, man, but it hurts. But we are getting Donovan Mitchell if we trade Obi. If that's the real speculation, Obi, Grimes, and Fournier, and 5 number 1 picks. Henry, I feel your pain, brother, but we have to get something to receive something. We're getting Donovan Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, if this is real sources and if this is something that is true. But I am pretty sure they're negotiating that. I don't know what's left over in the negotiations. I don't know if they want more second rounders in the deal. But
speculations were that guys that they're trying to negotiate some draft picks, which ones they swap. Like I said, I can't confirm anything with you guys until something is official. I'm not our channel. We don't sit there and give you guys false information and guarantee this trade happen. We just going by what rumors are right now as they stand still. Just like you guys were sitting here as Knicks fans waiting, and we want to give you guys, we want to break the news to you guys as much as you guys want to hear that news.
Yeah, thank you, Henry, brother. We'll keep you updated. Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks. Yes, sir, we shall. What do you have to say, Tricky? I would miss Obi for real, but he will have a much better opportunity to shine in Utah.
Absolutely.
Tricky? Absolutely. Right now, Randall's not going nowhere, and no one wants him, it seems. He's going to be here for another 4 years. Are you going to block Obi from spreading his wings and showing the talent he really has? Tricky, I totally 100% agree with you. Thank you, Tricky. I appreciate it. Henry, only 5 picks. Yes, only 5 picks. That's a speculation. It could be some second rounders involved. We don't know as of yet. Louis, let's get this trade done now. All right, Lou. Listen, we're going to get Donovan Mitchell. Let's do it.
We're waiting, Lou. The whole Knick Nation, YouTube, social media, Twitter is on a frenzy right now, just waiting on pins and needles for this trade to happen.
Yeah. Super. Obi staying. I don't know. That's the deal that's been held up. They wanted quickly and Obi and Grimes last week. Ainge came down a notch, obviously. And now it seems like it's Obi, Grimes, and Fournier and 5 picks. Speculation. This is not confirmed. These are sources from a Utah radio station close to Utah, Utah Jazz. So let's see what happens. Super. Let's see what happens. Thanks again, brother. Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks facts at Louis. Okay. All right. Keith Turner, Utah will be good for them. Guys can properly develop and get playing time. I wish them well. Listen, once again, Keith, it's not confirmed, man. Nothing's confirmed. It's only speculation. But let me show you the tweet that was put out by Donovan Mitchell about 4.5 hours ago.
Got it?
Donovan Mitchell, right. Spider Mitchell, 4 hours ago. Man, God is good. Now, why would you, Knick Nation, express to me, why is God good all of a sudden 4 hours ago? Why wasn't God good yesterday? God is good all the time, obviously. But why was God good 4 hours ago? Because that's when the rumors broke by the Utah radio station. Okay, so it kind of matches up. So I see the trade happened. They're just finalizing a few odd ends to it. So if God is good, Donovan Mitchell is going to be in a Knicks uniform coming up this fall, ladies and gentlemen.
And for all you Miami Heat fans, I don't know if there's any Miami Heat fans watching. Listen, respectfully, you guys have a great team. I love the city of Miami, with Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. But fact of the matter is, guys, the Knicks have the best available package. Danny Ainge heard the Knicks offers last week. This is why it's been such a delay. Knicks offered their packages last week. Danny Ainge asked. The Knicks turned him down. The Knicks counter-offered and gave them, this is what we're going to give you. And Danny Ainge basically said, you know what? I'll be right back. Let me check around with everybody else. And he's been checking with other teams to see what kind of packages they have. And he realized, like everybody else knows, the Knicks have the best assets in the NBA right now. They got the draft picks. They got these young guys. Like I said, Quentin Grimes and Obi Toppin guys. I know you guys don't want to depart with them. I love, very, very, it's crazy. Us Knicks fans, we get attached to each player. But the fact of the matter is, they're the most attractive pieces we have right now. And to get a star caliber player like a Mitchell, you have to give to receive.
Like I said, this is only rumors, Knick Nation. We're waiting for the true facts when we get an Ian Begley, a Woj to confirm this. I think this probably is going to be confirmed sometime. Well, today's Thursday, maybe by tomorrow, Monday, once they even out the last little things, maybe second rounders involved or whatever the case of money going back and forth for how many initial draft picks. Maybe they're asking for one more and the Knicks are just sticking to 5. Who knows what's going on? Maybe it's 5 and a few second rounders. Knick Nation, give me your opinion. Is Donovan Mitchell worth an Obi, worth a Fournier, worth a Grimes, and 5 number 1 picks? Let me know in your comments. So we have another comment here from Tricky Nicky. I see a big picture at the Garden. Fans going to go wild, especially after Spider gets his first 50 piece. Tricky, I agree, man. He is gonna. Listen. Obi had his moments coming off the bench, but you're gonna have a 35, 40-minute guy on the floor who's gonna do spectacular things. It's gonna space out the floor more. It's gonna make Randall's game better. Okay, so now this is interesting. If Grimes is in the deal, Cam Reddish is in the picture coming off the bench. Cam Reddish is going to have a big role coming off the bench. So he's going to shore up his defense and get his offensive game flowing. This is going to be very interesting. We're still going to see Rose is going to be still here. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, our second unit with Quickly, Rose, Cam, it's not a bad thing. And even with Hartenstein, it's not a bad second unit coming off. I think a lot of Knick Nation, knowing that Donovan Mitchell is here, we can make the playoffs somehow, some way. We can make that 7-8 seed. That's a possibility. All depends on Tom Thibodeau and his coaching, Juby.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, we've been so blown by this Donovan Mitchell trade rumors that everybody kind of forgot about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was just introduced the other day. We haven't really had a live show to speak about that and what he said. But it was just, listen, the guy said all the right things, key things. He said that he's been basically, since he was in college, he's been the underdog. Everybody said he wasn't too athletic. He wasn't too big. He wasn't a scorer. And he just has one thing that everybody wants. He has heart. And here in New York, us as fans, we know that's what it's all about. It's about having heart, giving us all you got every day in and out. And the kid has only gotten better. So I think with him, Mitchell, RJ, Julius, and that still young core with a couple of veteran pieces, I still, Donovan Mitchell is an offensive juggernaut, guys. I know everybody's like, 6'1", Brunson, 6'1", Donovan Mitchell, but nobody realizes Donovan Mitchell can score points in bunches. The guy is an offensive juggernaut. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, I think Keith is right. Someone has to come back, but Fournier makes about 18, right? So I think maybe that's what's holding this trade up. And Grimes is making maybe about 2.5.
It's probably Rose. It's probably Rose. Rose will probably be in the. I think Rose was at 12.
Yeah, so probably Rose, maybe that extra player. So Grimes and Fournier together, that's about 20 there, right? Obi is probably another 2.5. So you're missing about another $10 million there somewhere, between 10 and 12. So, yeah, I think you're right, Keith. That's to be another player. We don't know who that other player is. It could be Rose, and then I think that'll match up. They're probably going to have to send us something in return, another player that they have no use for. But a good observation on your end, Keith. Thank you. Tricky Nicky, every trade happens after a rumor. Yeah, that's true. It depends what source and what rumor, because it depends. Yeah, Tricky. I agree, but the speculation is they are speaking. They're talking. Woj mentioned they're all talking, and they're trying to finalize the deal. So for those
of you guys who are just joining, I know you guys probably heard the rumors. Knicks and Jazz have made significant progress, and they should come to an agreement within the next few days. Utah has realized the Knicks have the best available package in the NBA. So it's only a matter of time, guys.
Dre, how you doing? Dre House. Dre
House. Hate to lose Grimes, but I haven't seen enough of Red to be happy about that.
Dre, we all hate to see Grimes go. Maybe we haven't seen a lot in Grimes. I mean, he didn't have a great final game in the G League, but look, every player has an off game. And obviously, he was being doubled and triple teamed in that game. He still pulled off 19 points. His shooting deficiency was more than we expected. I mean, he shot a lot of shots for 19 points. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I agree with you, Dre.
He was second, though, in the MVP candidates for the whole entire summer league, guys. And like I said, that basically boosted his trade value. If you thought his trade value was good from last season based on his defense and how he played, this summer league, his value just skyrocketed. And Utah, when they probably saw him, because just like us, Utah management watches Knicks games and they watch the news, and they saw that Quentin Grimes is the real deal. And I'm genuinely surprised that they're not asking for also McBride in this package. I'll be surprised if McBride is not in this deal because we got a Brunson and a Derrick Rose still and a Quickly. So that's why I find it hard to believe that this is still, there still needs to be an adjustment in this trade package.
Thank you, Dre. Appreciate you, brother. Hope is 5 picks the max. That's what Henry Perez says. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think 5 is sufficient. If you're giving an Obi here, anything over 5 would be ludicrous for the Knicks to even give up all those assets.
8 if they let us keep Obi.
They want Obi in the package. I think 5 is maybe it's going to be a couple of second rounders. Thank you, Henry. Keith, Utah has to send another player. We have to get 2 of Utah's players. Yes, that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to get probably one of the 2 aspiring contracts, somebody who can probably buy out and won't be on the team unless they have some value defensively in that second unit. Thank you, Keith. Tricky Nicky, I just hope we don't give up all our protected picks. That's interesting. Tricky, I wonder, those 5 first rounders, it's speculated. They don't know if it's protected, not protected, but knowing Nanny Ainge, I would say 4 out of those 5 picks are not protected, if I had to take a guess.
Guys, and let's be honest. If Donovan Mitchell comes here, do you guys honestly think the Knicks are going to be a lottery team? I'm not going to sit here and say that we're a championship caliber team, but we're not going to be in the lottery, guys. With a Donovan Mitchell and a Brunson, a Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett, the Knicks are easily going to be, in my opinion, this is my opinion, guys, first, second round, maybe even Eastern Conference. And I know I'm kind of, reaching, but I think that's the expectation. So I think if I'm Knicks management, I'm going to say, you know what? They just want 5. I'll give them 4 unprotected because they don't see us being a lottery team. Aren't you guys tired of the Knicks being a lottery team? For years, I've been hearing we want the top 3 pick. We want the top 5 pick. Let's move on for that with all this negativity. And let's move on that we are here officially. We're going to be an actual team in the NBA that teams are going to be scared of.
Yeah, Julius Randle's words a couple of years back. We here, and not with Donovan. We here now. We are here, and this is not coming out of Julius Randle's mouth. This is coming out of probably Knicks Nation's mouth. We are here. We gave up Obi and we have Grimes. Okay, Grimes is a player still unproven in NBA. We knew he has a lot of potential. Obi, we saw what he can do when he starts. He has a lot of potential as well. But when you get a player like Donovan Mitchell, I'm warming up to it. This Knicks starting 5 is going to be juggernaut. The question is the bench. What's going to happen and how we're going to regulate the bench. I think the bench is not too bad. We'll go over that as we go along, but I appreciate it. Keith is saying no. I don't know what you're saying no to, Keith, but look.
He's probably saying no to the unprotected picks. Listen, I get Keith, if that's what you're saying no to, I get it, man, but we got to move on. We got to be relevant again, man. The Knicks are here. If we get this trade done, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. G-Man. Sorry to interrupt, Juby.
You good, brother?
Amen it is, brother. Amen. Tricky Nicky. How many wins? Maybe 48? I would say between 45 and 50, Juby. What do you think?
I'll go even as far as, a couple of streaming channels where we're making a joke. I'm not going to say who, but they were talking about how many burgers, and they know who they are because we're big fans of them too. And they would say 52 burger, 54. I'm going to say 52. I think we can be a 52-win team with that lineup. And if we add a couple of key veteran mid-level exception players, I know you guys don't want to hear it, like I said, but there's a man that's still a free agent who had a dinner a few weeks ago in Manhattan who's probably just waiting for a phone call if this Donovan Mitchell trade happens.
Now Melo makes sense coming off the bench to reduce Julius's time on the floor. Now that makes sense, Juby. Now I'm not going to go crazy about the Melo thing. Melo makes sense now. Nick Nation, tell me, if Obi is involved in this trade and Julius Randle your starting 4, would Carmelo Anthony make sense coming off the bench for about maybe 10, 20 minutes a game? Let's say 20 minutes a game. Give me your opinions down below, Nick Nation. Thank you, Tricky. Appreciate you, man. Great question, by the way. G-Man, Eastern Conference. Look, listen, Thibodeau is the ace behind this. If Thibodeau coaches the way we know he can coach, I can dream, and we can dream Eastern Conference. Why not? Why not, Nick Nation? Why not? Henry come on, fellas, in the chat. Hit the thumbs up. Bottom you're hearing content. Thumbs up, Henry. Thank you.
Thumbs up. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Dre, why is Spider the only player New York so fixated on? What Spider?
What's option two?
Option number two. There's no option right now. He wants to come to New York. He's represented by CA. Leon Rose knows him from the past. It's a no-brainer, man. Unfortunately, you have to give up an Obi. But Obi was not a starting four. He was not going to be a starting four. I'm warming up to this now more because it makes sense. Julius has the keys to New York, but he has Brunson. Unfortunately, yeah. He has Brunson that's going to make him a better player. Brunson and Spider is going to make a lot of players on his team much better. It's going to spread the floor. It's going to give Randall a lot of more opportunities. It's going to give Barrett a lot of more opportunities. This offensive team and that front five is so much better. This team can easily be able to score between 100 and 115 points per game. Per game. Give me your opinions, Nick Nation. Offensively, are we better? Defensively, are we better or worse? That's the question. You win games by defense, Gilby.
I agree with that notion, but I think sometimes the Golden State Warriors are not the best defensive team in the NBA. But why they win? Because their offensive powerhouse they just know how to score in buckets. They got somebody like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson who are bombing away from 3-point, and they can give up 100 points and still win the game. But listen, guys, I'm a big person on observation. There's a couple of things. Donovan Mitchell knows what he's doing, so he wants to come here. He hasn't asked Danny Ainge for a trade, but he's been showing all the signs, all the body language, throwing out pitches at the Mets game, wearing New York shirts. It's all a mind game that he's playing. And let me just tell you guys one more thing. That Jalen Brunson live special that was the other day, I told this to Zenray, and we didn't look too much into it, but I'm going to share it with you guys. When they introduced Brunson, they didn't have the reporters out there. We knew that was going to happen, but there were no questions on how does it feel to play with RJ Barrett? How does it feel to play with Obi Toppin? Sure. You didn't hear none of these questions. When you're a point guard, you're going to be the starting point guard. The number one question they ask, since I've been alive, how does it feel that you're going to play with this player? None of those questions were asked. And in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is because the man that's sitting right behind me, who's waiting patiently for this trade to get done, is going to come here. And once it happens, then they're going to introduce Brunson again to the reporters, and they're going to say, how does it feel to be, you're going to be playing with Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett?
Totally agree, man. Well said. And G-Man, we understood. My Latin background, Eastern and Eastern is almost the same thing, man. So I laugh with you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I kind of understood. I read Easter, but I knew you meant Eastern. So no worries, man. Us Latinos miss a little letter here and there, man. It's no big deal, man.
It was silent. The letter was silent.
Yeah, it's a silent letter. R for us, we drag the R. I mean, it's not a big deal, guys. But thank you. So, Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks. Now that I think about it, Obi and Val, we must be keeping Randall. Yes. Listen, and right behind him, and Juby's been saying this all along, Carmelo Anthony. Perfect.
He's coming home.
11 salary exception he'll be getting. It makes sense. It does make sense. And that's why Dolan and Melo were dining outside, because I think Dolan knew that, Leon Rose was up to, eventually getting one of those two players out of here. And obviously Melo would have been a great fit either or. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Melo is the talk of the town coming up if this trade does happen. So expect Melo after this trade in the next few weeks.
Right away.
With the Knicks. That's finalized, basically. Thank you, Tricky. Yeah, you got laid off, Randall. We got through this first 4 years. Look, everybody has a bad year, and everybody makes mistakes in life. That's the Zen in me, and I believe in second chances. Look, we're not all perfect human beings. I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, and I look what I've done in the past. It ain't pretty. I have a lot of skeletons in my closet, plenty that I fight off, and I still fight those demons every day. Being a New York City boy, bred in New NYC, battling to the streets of the Bronx, I understand that. So let's give Julius Randle a chance, Knick Nation. I know as much as we didn't want him and his antics last year, let's put ourselves in his position and let's give him another second chance. Now, given a second chance, you go out being this character you were last year, then I can say Randle is going to exit his way out of here somehow, some way. But right now, Knicks management is going to give him a second chance, Juby, and I believe Nation should give him that second chance as well. Keith, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, and Randall's getting fit, guys. I mean, I don't know you guys seen social media. Randall lost like 30 pounds, and he looks like he can play the three right now. I'm not saying his jump shot is there for that, but he looks like he can play the three. That's how lean and fit this guy is.
I'll be honest with you, Melo won't. He's not. He's an older player. He's not going to be able to play the three, Juby. I think he'll be here for. I'm not saying he can't spot a few times at the three. Defensively, he's going to just get killed at the three.
Yeah, of course.
Position. I mean, back in the day, he can play the 3 and 4, but right now, Melo won't be able to play with these young kids at the 3. He's going to get
he's going to play. If Melo comes here, well, I'm not going to say if this trade happens, I'm telling you guys in my gut, Carmelo Anthony's ending his career. He's going to be 39 years old. He loves New York. He always said that he hated the way things was with Phil Jackson and everything. And, his wife has still business over here in ties. So trust me when I tell you, Carmelo's brand is bigger than everything, and he wants to be back here. And I think they'll give him a final farewell season. He'll play. He'll get a chance to play if it happened with Spider and Brunson. And, we'll see what happens, guys. I mean, there may be a 2-year deal, 1 year guaranteed, and a player option for him if that happens. Yeah. And they'll sign him to a mid-level exception. And it'll be good. Him and Rose coming off the bench, and not to defend Randle, guys. Last season we had Alex Burke as our starting point guard for the majority of the season. Let's be realistic. So I'm going to give Julius Randle, like Zenray said, we didn't have a legitimate point guard like we had the year before that when Derrick Rose got traded halfway through the season. Randle had options. He didn't have to be the ball facilitator. And then we had Alex Burks who could have come in and shoot 20 to 23 points when he got hot. Last season, he couldn't do that. He had to be the point guard 70% of the time. And the offense was just no ball movement. It was just bad. So now we got Brunson. I think Randall's going to have a good bounce back season, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, well said. And I agree with you. And I think Knick Nations and I think New York or in general, they give second chances. I am telling you, Brunson is here. Julius Randle has a type of year or close to the type of year he had a couple of years back. He'll be embraced back by New York. He just has to tone it down a little bit. Just tone it down. I'm not saying that all the calls against you are wrong, but tone it down because, you get more out of honey than you do out of vinegar, So that's an old saying. So, I mean, obviously, he is vinegar all the way, man. He's vinegar all the way. I didn't see a lot of honey spots last year in Randle. So let's see what happens. Let's give him a second chance. Brunson is here. It's going to alleviate a lot of his pressures or the pressures he had. He was in the kitchen. He was in Hell's Kitchen. That's a little town out here in New York City down below. I wasn't bored too far from there. But he was in Hell's Kitchen, and he was burning up, and he couldn't handle the heat. And obviously, he reacted the wrong way. Look, we're all humans. We're willing to give him a second chance. Juby, that's a great call on your end. And Tricky Nicky. Great offense allows us, especially Mitch, to go back and set up our Tibbs defense.
Facts.
I like that.
Agreed.
And remember, Juby, I don't know if you remember, Mitchell in college, he was a pretty decent defender. When he went to Utah, since he became this offensive juggernaut, he decided to lack off on defense. But now with Tibbs, I think Tibbs is going to get his motor revving back up. I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest defender in the NBA, but he's going to be much better than he was in Utah and much better than he was against Jalen Brunson in that playoff game last year, those playoffs game last year. So, Tricky Nicky, appreciate you, brother. The defense is the most important part, and let's see what happens. Let's see if this trade does happen. I have a feeling it's going to happen somehow, some way. I don't know the details in terms of players and draft picks. I'm hearing 5. I'm hearing Obi. I'm hearing Grimes, and I'm hearing Fournier. But let's see what happens. There's a lot of odd ends that have to be tied up in terms of salary, in terms of who's coming back to them or coming back to us. Let's see. Dre, we're expecting Rose to be the same Rose from 2020, 2021. Are you happy with the current second unit?
You want to answer first, or you want me to answer that first?
I'll let you go, Juby. Dre makes a good point.
Dre, I respectfully, I get where you're going to come with this. Derrick Rose has a lot of high mileage on him, and we all know that. We know he's not the Derrick Rose that he was a few years ago. That 2 years ago that took us to that playoff series against Atlanta, or the Derrick Rose was his first stint with the Knicks. But I think his veteranship, his leadership, I still think he can give. If he can give us half of that with an Emmanuel Quickly. And a Cam Reddish, and Jericho Sims in that bench, and we don't even know if Miles McBride is going to be included in this deal. We still have him, so even if we get a little bit of Derrick Rose, just to have Derrick Rose if he's still here, because I think he might be part of this package to make the salaries work. But if he's still here, I think that second unit can still be electrifying. And I think finally Cam Reddish is going to get some shine, man. Cam Reddish, we got him last break, and we didn't utilize him at all. We don't know what we got. We gave up a first-round draft pick, guys. We were willing to give Cam Reddish up for peanuts. I was hearing players say, "Oh, let's include Cam Reddish in the deal. Let's include him in the deal." Why? Let's see what Cam Reddish can give us. If he's a bust, guess what? The trading deadline is in February. We get rid of him. We're done. If he works out, we got a diamond in the rough. Yep. And that'll be to have that as a backup player and possibly even a future starter. Wow. That's all I got to say about that one. Thanks for the comment, Dre.
Yeah, Dre. And by the way, I'm digging the Yankee Nick combo shirt. I just put it back on just for you, Dre. It was getting a little warm here. Us Latinos under the light, we get hot as well. Hell's Kitchen as well here in NYC. But I'm putting it back for you, man. I appreciate your comment, man. Keep it real in NYC, man. Thank you, brother. Sorry, I'm getting calls on a whole bunch of programming. Nick fans calling me up. Friends of mine.
Let's hopefully maybe it's Leon Rose letting you know what kind of package is coming.
I don't have that much juice.
We understand Knicks are not even having for 9 days. No, guys, if you actually see right now, I'm going to show you again. If you guys are just joining, the Knicks and Jazz have made significant progress over the last 24 hours. Donovan Mitchell, both sides are expected to come to an agreement within the next few days as Utah understands the Knicks have the best trade package.
Yep. Look, a lot of this is rumors in terms of players and picks. Like I said, the Zone Sports Network is a sports network out in Utah. They're a pretty reliable source from a lot of Utah fans. They're Ian Begley out there in Utah. Their station is 1280 AM and 97.5 FM. They're Jake and Ben, and they're from a Utah radio station, and they first broke the news. Now, I didn't believe it because I never heard of Jake and Ben, and I think most of Knick Nation never heard of Jake and Ben. We heard of Ben and Jerry, the ice cream. We never heard of Jake and Ben. So at first I was thinking, is the ice cream guy? He knows about the trades, about the Knicks. He only knows ice cream. So I'm just saying it's just speculation on that part. But now we're hearing little words from a lot of Knicks who are following the Knicks saying that something is brewing. There is talks. So let's see what these talks are all about. Is Obi actually in the deal? Is Grimes actually in the deal? Is there 5 number 1 picks and second rounders involved, or there's more than first rounders? How many guaranteed? How's the guarantee on the first rounders? Are they guaranteed or non-guaranteed?
Or if there's a 3-team trade involved, guys, I'm not gonna count that out. LA loves to do trades with the Knicks. Who knows? Maybe Dallas might get in here, and Dallas wants. Hold on, puppy. Dallas wants to get involved in this. Sorry about that, guys. That's a future Knick fan right there. Wanted to come in and say hi real quick. But yeah, man. Listen, guys, anything can happen right now, and I know that a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, who know why is it the Knicks? It might be somebody else. The Knicks have the best trade package. The Knicks have the best assets right now. Nobody in the NBA can come close to what the Knicks have to offer for Danny Ainge right now in the Utah Jazz.
Yes. Thank you, Nick Yak. That's actually great observation on your end, because when Juby contacted me about that, I said, they're not even negotiating. I mean, they're going back and forth. It was going to take a couple of weeks. That's what Woj said last week, that this is going to go down for the next 2 or 3 weeks. They're actually going to sit down again. But I think they started heating up in talks again. And appreciate you, Nick Yak. Tricky Nicky, facts. We saw glimpses of Cam that he can ball. Yes. Coming off the bench as your sixth man, I wouldn't mind that. Your mic, Juby. Your mic.
I'm sorry, guys. He has long arms. So if you guys are worried about defense, Cam Reddish can learn to play defense because he has his long arms where he can defend. Yo, we're going to be okay, guys. I'm telling you, if this trade happens, I know everybody's going to worry about that we're going to have 2-6-1 guards. That's all I've been hearing in the NBA, us getting roasted, that we're going to have a 6-1 backcourt. Don't pay attention to that. That's just ESPN hating on Nick Nation. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be nothing but orange and blue skies for us if this trade happens.
Okay, I don't understand. I'm confused by this. Like, you're a Knicks fan, Tricky Nicky, but you're a Detroit Tigers baseball fan. I don't understand that. My condolences. I mean, I don't know why Detroit. You have your reason. Maybe one day you'll come on the show and you'll explain that to us. But I still appreciate Tricky Nicky. You're valuable, and in terms of you coming on and giving your comments and feedback. So I appreciate you, brothers. Let's see, what Tigers are really going nowhere. The Yankees seems like they're dominating. They had a little downfall the last couple of weeks, but let's see what happens, brother. Yankees all the way. Thank you, Tricky. Johnny Davis. Yo, the T-shirt thing is cool.
Hey.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Johnny.
Nothing but orange and blue and pinstripes over here, guys. That's it. You know, Yankees and Knicks and Giants. Let's go.
Nick Yak, who said this? The Knicks?
No,
I think he's saying the speculation. No, speculations were originally from a Utah radio station that's close to the Utah team. So it's all speculation. But in the last couple of hours, Juby read a statement that the Knicks are involved in the talks back with Utah, and something may be finalized in the next 2 or 3 days. What will be? Juby said it could be a third team. It could be a lot of speculation. The Fournier, Obi, and Quentin Grimes rumor is not true, but that is what's speculated by the radio station out in Utah. Thank you, Nick Yak. Drew, to make Spider trade happen, in your opinion, what would you give without destroying the roster?
You're asking our package that we would offer. I can tell you what I would offer.
The package right now is not bad considering, man. We're using Obi and Grimes, but you're getting back a hell of a talent. And if it's 5 first-round picks, Nick Nation, I don't know, Dre. I mean, what would you give up? I mean, I'm satisfied with this. Obviously, if I had a choice, I would say either take Grimes or Obi and probably give him a Cam in that deal.
I was going to say that the only thing I would change probably is try to keep Grimes and add Cam Reddish and keep Grimes. That's the only thing because they're not interested in Quickly and they're not interested in Julius Randle, guys. They're not interested in none of those. The only players they were interested in was R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks told them to kick rocks. That's not happening. And then now, of course, because they countered that, the rumors are Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, Evan Fournier, and who else knows? He may want a chopped tease to be sent his way as well. Only time will tell. But Danny Ainge definitely wants to rob us and take us to the bank for sure.
Yeah, Nick, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So we have no. Let's go back, Nick Yak. That was Dre. I'm sorry. From Utah, Shock Jock, Ben and Jerry. We don't need a third team. Maybe we don't. I think we could do this without a third team. But if a third team is involved, maybe you can save a Grimes or Obi in that trade.
Facts.
That's the only thing. And maybe you give up a little more. Maybe you give an extra pick, first-round pick. Maybe you give 6 in the way. And maybe you can spare an Obi and you can spare a Grimes in this deal if you get a third team involved. So We may need a third team if you guys want to save one of those guys. Nick Nation, who would you rather not trade if you had a choice? Obi or Grimes? If you had a pick in that trade, who would you want not to be in that trade? Obi or Grimes? Let me know in your comments.
Let us know in the comments, guys.
Thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you're new into this channel. We'll come up to date with a lot of facts coming here. We never speculate or give you false rumors. Once again, these are rumors that are not confirmed on this Mitchell trade. This is speculation from a Utah radio station. So with that said, I appreciate you guys. All right. The inside source. Dumars and Thomas, small backcourt. There you go.
I think you skipped two, Zenray. I'm sorry. Hold on. We don't want to skip anybody. Nick Nack, Brunson, RJ, Cam, Randall, and Mitch. That's what we have. And now we are Tricky Nicky right now.
Right. Gotcha.
So sorry about that, guys.
No, I'm sorry. No, we were actually correct. I appreciate your style. Salutes. Listen, guys, we're getting a lot of stuff here. So I'm trying to scroll as much as fast as possible. In source, I appreciate you. Thank you. I like your style as well, brother. So now we on track. Brunson, RJ, and Cam, Randall, and Mitch.
Not bad. Sounds good to me.
That lineup is
deadly.
I like it. I like it. That's strong. Listen, we have Cam. He's a very creative player, man. He is very athletic, man. He can get up and down that court, and he has some defensive ways about him that I like it, man. If I had a choice between Quentin Grimes and Cam, I would definitely go for Quentin Grimes' defense. But Cam is no slouch in defense, man. Right. Thanks, Nick Yak. Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks. I grew up with Knicks fan, live in Michigan. Watch out for the Pistons too.
Oh, yeah. Listen, guys, I said the Pistons had the best offseason in regards to having assets and draft picks. Watch out for the Pistons. The Pistons are going to be a team to be reckoned with in the NBA for sure. So we appreciate that comment.
Inside source, Dumars, Thomas, more backcourt. That's a great point.
That's a great point. The bad boys. The bad boys,
and how many championships they hit up? They hit 2 championships?
Yeah, two.
So,
but they had Isaiah Thomas, they had Joe Dumars, they had Dennis Rodman, who is one of the leaders of the bad boys. So hopefully, maybe Julius Randle can be our Dennis Rodman. I don't know. I won't go by that far, but that's a good point, man. They were a small backcourt, and look what they accomplished. So, like I said, don't listen to that hype that we have a 6-1 small backcourt.
Thank you, Inside Source. Appreciate that. Today's bases loaded, no outs, no runs killed us. Yeah. Listen, the Yankees in the last few games, they left a lot of runners on base as well, especially in that week where they couldn't win a game, especially Boston. Boston is going to be a tough out for anybody. So if they get into that wild card game, Boston is the team who can light it up as it did last year toward the end. Thank you, Nick Nack. 89 bad boys facts. Thank you, Inside Source. Thank you, Tricky Nicky. So I'm reading all this stuff down. So Juby, right now, any stuff you're hearing right now on Twitter, you see anything on Twitter that's actually confirming any of this?
Nothing, guys. Just the last thing is that they're talking. A deal should be, and this was, like I said, I'll even share it with you guys so you guys can see. We don't like to give false stuff. This is the latest, the absolute latest. That is a good source, and it just specifies that they're talking. No agreement yet. Both sides they will come to an agreement in the next few days. Utah understands the Knicks have the best package they can offer them. That's where we stand right now. No deals have been done yet. No reports on what the package is, what they've agreeing on. So stay tuned. Definitely when that happens, we'll break it here for you guys for sure.
Carlos, thank you. Nah, man, we're going to get fleeced. Let's keep our assets for unprotected picks. You guys are taking for granted what we have. Shaking my head. Look, Donovan Mitchell. If the reports are correct of what they're talking about, is Obi a starter? No, he's an impact player off the bench. Okay, we lose him. Grimes, is he a starter? No. Let's think about it. We're getting a starter, a guy who's averaging 25 points a game, coming in, playing and starting for the New York Knicks next to Brunson. Then we have Mitchell
RJ.
Robinson. We have RJ. And look, that's a team, I think. I mean, so you're giving up 2 second unit players, and you're giving up Fournier, who's a starter. That's the only starter we're losing. So, look, I'm an Obi guy, man. I don't want to lose Obi. But if this is the deal, let's take it. Let's move on. Obi, like a couple of comments before, let him get the freedom to start. Let him spread his wings. He's not going to get no play as long as Randall's here. So why have him on the bench? You know,
Carlos, I'm curious, Carlos. It seems like you're very you're worried about the assets and the 4 unprotected picks more. What players are coming out of college? Do you honestly, and I asked this in the chat before, do you guys see us as a lottery team still to come within the next few years? Aren't you guys tired of the Knicks being a lottery team? I wouldn't mind us giving up our picks as long as we can be bona fide in the NBA and we could be reveling again. I mean, I'm tired of being in the top 5, top 10 picks and getting the Kevin Knox and the Frank Nicolatinas. I mean, you know, we got a chance to get a bona fide star, a scoring machine, and I would give up 4 unprotected draft picks right now because, in my opinion, that makes us a team to talk about in the playoffs for sure.
Totally agree.
Thanks for the comment.
G-Man, Johnny Davis, and Tricky Nicky said they would like to keep Obi.
Me too.
Out of the 3 players and give maybe an extra draft pick or maybe give a Cam in that deal. So I'm the same way. I would love to keep Obi, but it looks like Obi is the center of that deal. He's the main guy that Utah wants. So I don't see Obi being the guy staying. But let's see what happens. It's not confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. It's not confirmed. Thank you, Tricky Nicky, Johnny Davis, and G-Man. Salute you guys for your involvement on our podcast. Appreciate you guys. G-Man, to keep Quick and Obi off the bench and get Spider would be huge.
I would love that, G-Man. I mean, in a perfect world, we keep Obi, we keep Quickly, and we just give up Grimes and some draft picks and Evan Fournier, and we run it with Spider. But
right,
like, you know, somebody said, Danny Ainge is going to try to fleece us. But thank God, like my partner said, we have somebody who's playing chess and not checkers right now, who's running this team.
I agree. Thank you, G-Man. Appreciate that, man. Nick Yak, Obi won't even get a second contract. I agree. And I mentioned this in the previous shows back. If Obi is still here and Randall is getting most of the play, which he will, Obi's not going to sign with the Knicks. So they're looking at, look, right now, who are we going to give the ball to? Knick Nation, be honest. Let's take the attitude, the screaming, his thumbs down on the Knicks. Just say talent-wise right now. Is Obi or Julius Randle running the team? Who would run the team better? Or not run the team. Who would be the best number 4 on this team? I would think it's Randle. As much as I love Obi, Obi has a lot of. Listen, he's a 2010 guy. Can Obi get there eventually? Yes. But if you can get a deal and get a Donovan Mitchell and make a complete this five-player lineup for the Knicks, you have to make this deal. So if Obi's in the deal, as much as I hate it, Nick Yak, I agree with you. He probably won't stay here because Julius Randle's in the way, and it seems like nobody wants Julius. I don't know if because of his contract, because of his mindset. It could be a combination of both. But Nick Yak, you made a great point. Thank you. Dre, do you think having veterans in the locker room improves the team? Because this is a young team. We lost a real New Yorker, a vet, in Taj. Thoughts?
It was tough, Dre, for us to lose Taj. I told Zenray, like, you know, it's finally the Taj is gone. I really thought that Taj was gonna retire, Nick, and join Tom Thibodeau on the bench as an assistant somehow. But we still got Derrick Rose, who's a veteran leader. And you know, I still think, like I said, if this Spider Mitchell deal gets done, I think Carmelo Anthony's going to be coming right behind him as a bench player and a veteran presence. And I said this before, guys. I'm not going to touch up on it too much. I think Carmelo Anthony on this team would be great on a bench reserve role because it would show he can teach RJ Barrett certain things that he doesn't have in his offensive repertoire, and Cam Reddish. Let's not forget Carmelo Anthony's jab step. We forget about all that stuff. The guy at one point was one of the best offensive scorers in the NBA. And I think it'll be a good thing to have him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I before I get to anybody else, I have Paris from San Diego screaming, "No, Carmelo Anthony! No way!" Hey, Paris, I felt the same way, man. I felt the same way. And thank you for coming on, Paris. Paris, in our last show, she was just rocking it in the last show with so many good questions and coming back a lot of feedback.
I think Paris wants Alex Burke back in here. No, he's back. No, not even for a bag of potato chips will I take Alex Burke. I am
Paris,
so good.
Paris, you rock, Paris. I appreciate you. I'll come down to the comments later on. So Nick Yak is saying combine picks and move down to the top 5.
So my picks move down to the top 5.
Move top 5 where in the next year's draft?
Next year's draft that you're referring to? Okay. So he's so basically, Nick Yak, you're saying, if I'm not mistaken, to stand pat with our assets and move down in the top 5. I mean, what's out there, guys? Do you guys really know what? I mean, for all you college basketball experts, is there a bona fide superstar that's coming out of college in the next few years that can be a game changer? Is there a LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony type of player coming out of college? You guys tell me. I would love to hear it in the comments for sure.
Yeah, listen, look, it can go either way. Combine picks for next year. Leon Rose knows that he has Donovan Mitchell here. He wants to come to New York. This is a move you have to make. So I understand everybody for next year. Right now, we're thinking about now, not tomorrow. And I think this is the mindset right now. You get an opportunity to get a Donovan Mitchell. You have to make that move. Thank you, Trick and Nicky. Appreciate you. Nick Yak, I'm sorry, appreciate you. So we got Trick and Nicky. I just want to be relevant like we were in the 90s, and getting Donovan Mitchell might bring us a future star. Pull the trigger.
Facts.
Tricky, Nicky, facts. We're going to be relevant now. We're going to be relevant. Okay?
Facts.
This makes us relevant. Thank you, Trick and Nicky. I think that's the best quote we had here.
Well, the best comment tonight so far, guys. We want to be relevant, guys. We don't want to be a lottery team. The Knicks, we're here again.
Right. So we have Leon Rose pull this off, his best GM we had in decades, best offseason in many years. Yeah, Tricky. I agree.
Facts.
You pulled this off. You did a great job. There's going to be a lot of Knick haters and a lot of news and saying that you're going to have your naysayers, but I agree with you, Tricky. I think you have to make this move. As much as it hurts me losing Obi Toppin, if this trade facts are true, then let it be, man. Let's get the spider in here. Let's get to work.
Let's get that book rolling. Let's get to work. Well said, Zenray. I like that.
Nick Yak, what does Obi do better than Randall besides dunk? There you go. Nick Yak said it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing he does do better. He doesn't scream at the fans and give them a thumbs down. Hopefully he learned from that. And we like Zenray said, we all go through our stuff. We all learn. We all have skeletons in the closet. And maybe he just needed a reset. And hopefully now he can humble himself and get back to playing basketball. Because that was my only critique thing with him. Because we forget, guys, the guy was a 20-10 player this past season. It was just his off-the-court shenanigans and the stuff with the fans that got the team and fans upset with him. Besides that, though, we know he's a talented basketball player.
Yeah, we know that. His shooting percentages was pretty bad from 3. And but
I'm
besides that, he's still a 22 guy. Even in a bad season, he just couldn't keep his mouth shut, and he was going at it with his own players, going at it with the referees, going at it with opposing team players. We can't have that. But yeah, I think he's going to be a changed man now with Brunson. He's not going to take anything. Brunson's going to come in. He's going to take gear of this ship, and he's going to bring it home to us. Nick Yak, that's a great observation, man.
Zenray, real quick, Paris. This is my little special for you, Paris. Sources: Carmelo Anthony is a wait and see mode, deciding on his team. Lakers have shown interest, but Carmelo Anthony is keeping tabs on New York and the Knicks. If Donovan Mitchell ends up, expect Carmelo Anthony to follow. Ask
Ooh.
and I speak it to the universe, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. He's coming home.
It makes
Coming
sense.
home. I told you guys.
Shuby, it just makes sense. I agree. You look, you trade Obi, and that tells you they know what's going on. I think Obi is in this trade. You need another 4 to back him up. Why not Carmelo Anthony? And let him play year contract and let's see what he does. I mean, and he's come to New York. He's just going to energize his fan base, Nick Nation.
Oh, so send him off. Send the man. He deserves a send off, guys.
So, Carlos, thank you. I guess you guys don't believe in this loaded draft. Mitchell have the Knicks fans blind.
Carlos is talking about the draft. I've been hearing that the draft is going to be great next season, and but
Carlos, you get an opportunity to get a Donovan Mitchell here. I'm sorry, man. You have to make that move, man. And a lot of Nick Nation was making comments to me on my channel, and they were saying if Leon Rose doesn't pull a trigger somehow, some way for Donovan Mitchell, his leash can get shorter in terms of not being with the Knicks in the future.
Facts.
I believe that Tom Thibodeau's literally shorter than Leon Rose, but that would be one strike against Leon Rose. So I think Leon Rose has to take a chance here. This kid is only 25 years old, averages 25 points a game. This is going to be an offensive juggernaut team if Tom Thibodeau coaches this team correctly. So Carlos, I know your concerns. The future is great. I love the future. I love what Leon Rose did, but think about what Leon Rose did to get these assets, to get a player like Mitchell, or a player he's going to get in Mitchell. No other team can come close. That's why Danny Ainge knows the Knicks is the only team they can deal with. Great observation, and I respect your comment, Carlos. I really do. Nick Yak, if we get Mitchell with that money, Fournier's money would go to Mitchell, and Rose money would go to RJ. Yeah. That makes sense. That does make sense. So we got Tricky Nicky Melo for 1 year. I would like him to retire as a Knick. Okay. I don't think Paris would want him anywhere near here. Paris has her sentiment about Melo. I had the same sentiment about Melo, Paris. But now that Obi may be involved in this trade, what better person to back up Randall than Melo? Think about that, guys. Thank you, Tricky. Epic Rican, my brother, Rican brother. I thought Mark Stein reported Julius to the Lakers if we get Mitchell in the trade. Well, I think they were playing like that game with Danny Ainge about negotiating with them, and then they started switching it. Once we get Mitchell, we'll do this. That was probably something they spoke about. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that's still true, but if that's true, then that means Obi is not in this deal. I heard the same rumors, Epic. I heard the same rumors.
We'll see what happens, guys. There's rumors.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Maybe Obi is not in this deal. Maybe there's another player here that we're not aware of. Maybe we're being blindsided by these rumors. Hey, stay tuned. We'll be doing a show tomorrow about this. We'll be talking about Westbrook, Julius Randle. So we'll be on tomorrow again, sometime about 7:35 or so, and we'll speak more about this. Thank you, Epic.
Oh, you passed one, brother. Right there.
You're good. Carlos. We'll leave that. That's between Paris and Carlos. So, look, I don't want to get involved in their little tit-tat, but Paris she knows her stuff, man. Watch out, Carlos. She's a tiger. Well, he's a tiger. Sorry.
He's a better teammate.
Yeah, Paris, look, man, I can't agree with you. I can't agree with you.
Wait, who's a better teammate? Is she referring to my comment that I said Alex Burke? I think that was a little shade, me saying that I wouldn't throw Alex Burke for a bag of chips. But listen, Paris, I get it. You're not into Carmelo Anthony. You have your reasons.
Tricky Nicky.
It is what it is.
Paris, we'll bump heads again, Paris. Paris is like on the ball. On my last show, Paris was rocking it big time. Paris. Tricky, salutes to everyone in the chat. Salutes to you,
guys.
Thank you. Paris, he energizes the arena.
Obi.
That's what you're talking about.
Obi.
Obi.
sure.
Who else?
Well,
But
for sure.
if Obi's gone in his deal, the second person, and Paris doesn't want to hear this, the second person who can energize his arena is Carmelo Anthony. He'll bring the Gardens to their feet, man. Definitely. So if you lose Obi,
standing 6'7" from Syracuse, number 7. Come on, guys.
Anthony. I know, Paris. I'm sorry, man. I know.
We're just busting your chops, Paris.
Johnny Davis, Obi at least has better court vision. But you know something? You don't need that when you have a Brunson and you have a Donovan Mitchell. You don't need that anymore. I mean, Randall didn't have that great court vision. I agree with you, Johnny. Obi had a better vision in that. But you're not going to need these guys to bring the ball up for any reason. That's why you have Brunson. You have
but Obi didn't have that stress and that basically like everybody leaning on him. You guys got to remember, Julius Randle felt the pressure of New York City on top of him. He had to be point forward. Obi Toppin just had to just play freely. Yeah. And towards the end. So if Julius Randle could get back to just focusing on playing.
He makes a good point. When Quickly and Obi on the floor, his court vision was tremendous. It was as good as Quickly's. Yeah. They were a match in heaven. I tell you, Quickly his heart is going to ache more than anybody else, man. His pal, his buddy. But thank you, Johnny Davis. You're making a great observation on that. His court vision was much better than obviously Randall's. Paris, 20-10 because he plays 40 minutes a game and it's the focus. Yeah, it's the focus. I agree. But he's done that previously. I mean, it's not only with the Knicks. He's been a 2010 guy mainly his whole career. So I get you, Paris. Inflated stats. I don't know about inflated stats. Could be because he was the only go-to guy on that team and they really had nobody else. But toward the end, Barrett started chipping into his stats last year. So maybe you're right. That's a possibility, man. If you look at those numbers, it can be inflated, Paris. Wow, we got Parrot says terrible. Paris says worst move they could possibly do in terms of Carmelo Anthony. Paris says deserves a send-off. Okay, at least you agree on something. Why does he deserve a send-off? Why?
I will have a 45-minute conversation on why Carmelo Anthony deserves a send-off. So we're not going to do that today.
Listen, he's done a lot for New York, even though he didn't win. He didn't bring the chip here. Carmelo Anthony was beloved by the nation, man. He's just one of a kind. He's probably one of our best offensive players next to Patrick Ewing, man. So since Patrick Ewing, at least. So Paris, I think he deserves a send-off. I didn't think he matched with this Knicks team with the youth a few weeks back, but now thinking that Obi goes and you need under the floor on this team, why not Carmelo Anthony? Carlos at Paris, we're good. I'll let you guys take care of that. Carlos, be careful of Paris. Paris is caliente. Paris having two balls, two hogs backing each other up. Ooh, I don't know. Ball hogs.
Who's the ball hog?
Randall and Melo hogging up. I don't think that's going to happen.
And it's not even that, guys. If you guys watched Melo, if you're referring to the Melo of the Knicks days, fine, I understand that. He was the focus point. He shot 30 shots. He doesn't do that anymore. He played in LA. He played in Portland. He played in Houston, and he was in check. He just contributed to the team. He shot when he was open. Listen, I like the move. You guys can say what you want. For a mid-level exception, for leadership, for veteranship, as a backup, and nothing more than a backup, I think it's a great pickup, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Paris, you can't have four guys in the starting lineup that have 90% usage rate. That's the job that Tom Thibodeau has to break down.
He's going to have to figure it out.
There's only one ball, and Paris, you make a good point. There's only one ball, so Julius is not going to get the touches he got last year. Okay, Brunson doesn't need as many touches. Donovan Mitchell, Barrett, and then Randall. Those three players are going to need touches. How they're going to split that up, we'll find out. I think Randall is going to have less of a role in terms of bringing the ball up and doing all what he tried to do last year and the last couple of years on his team. So you make a good point, Paris. Thank you. Captain and Coke. I think Fournier, Reddish, and Quickly are in the deal. So you're saying Obi is not in the deal? Captain, if you're correct,
I'll be happy.
If you're correct, Carmelo wouldn't be even in any talks here. But
yeah,
we'll find out, man. I'm hearing different reports from a Utah radio station that's close to the team. And we'll see. We'll find out in the next couple of days, I guess. But thank you, Captain. I mean, losing Quickly would hurt. But if I had a choice between Quickly and Obi, that's tough. That's tough. Thank you, Captain. Nick Yak. San Antonio gets 3 firsts for Murray, and Leon gets 3 picks for a washed-up 11th this draft. He's not going anywhere. You know something? That can make some sense, man. But I've seen weirder things happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen weird. Paris, Randall can't be here. Melo can't be here. Both ISO guys. Paris keeps on coming with some good points, but this is where Tom Thibodeau's job can be on the line if he doesn't get this right. He has to delegate the offense and how it's going to be run through Brunson. So that's going to be Leon Rose is going to step back, give you the players. Tom Thibodeau, now it's going to be up to you. If we don't make the playoffs, Tom Thibodeau is gone. And Leon Rose's leash is going to get shorter. What do you think, Juby?
Yeah, I think Knicks management is feeling that pressure. I think I know Jim Dolan doesn't have nothing to do with the team for the last year or two, but I honestly think Jim Dolan quietly has come out and let it known. With his little dinners with Melo, and I know he hears about the Donovan Mitchell, and I know he probably went to Leon Rose and said, "Yo, you got to get this deal done. This is a move that not only will sell tickets, it'll make the team relevant again." And you better believe it. Knicks management is feeling a little pressure, not only from owners and management, but from fan base and tabloids as well.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Paris, I just want to apologize to you. I did mention.
I'm doing, by the way. All right.
And listen, I apologize.
Apologies, Paris. All good.
Apologies. I didn't mean that by any imagination. So, Trick. Let's go back to Tricky. Tricky Nicky, let's talk Knicks. Draft picks don't guarantee that you can draft a guy like Donovan Mitchell.
Facts.
Great. That's facts.
Facts.
Paris, Obi is a better teammate. I agree. Much better. 110%. He smiles. He brings positive energy. Randall is always in gloom and doom mode, especially if things don't go his way. And he stops playing defense. He doesn't collaborate with the team. So, Paris, I agree with you 110%.
Facts.
Carlos, I'm a long-suffering Knicks fan. Join the club. You won't be suffering no more. Donovan Mitchell may be coming aboard. At what expense? Maybe Obi is gone.
Hey, Carlos, a couple of comments back, you were talking about holding on to assets and draft picks and keeping our fort protected. You know why? Because you're talking like a Knicks fan that's been going through it for so many years without stars to come here. And now we're about to hopefully break out of that. So forget about the draft picks and the lottery. We're going to be reveling again, and we don't need to be in the lottery, my friend.
Yeah, that was cold. Yeah, that was cold on my end, Carlos. That was no pun intended on Paris. I wasn't trying to insult no one. I just, when you assume, you make an ass out of yourself, and I surely didn't make an ass out of myself. My apologies to Paris again, brother.
If we can forgive Randall, we can forgive you, Zenray. It's all good.
Thank you, brother.
All right, Nick Nation. I mean, come on.
Every Knicks fan is a long-suffering fan. Paris says it best. I agree.
Facts.
We are. I know, bro. Carlos, facts. If Melo comes, we riot. I don't know about riot, but I think there'll be a celebration, man. I mean, listen, Melo, if he comes here for the right reason, we're okay. But if Melo comes here, if Obi is still here, makes no sense whatsoever.
Then I wouldn't want that deal to happen at all. Well,
Exactly.
100%.
The second unit is built to run and gun, moving ball movement. Where does ISO Melo fit in that? Paris makes another good point. Listen, Tom Thibodeau is going to have his hands full, man. Tom Thibodeau, if he doesn't get this team rolling the correct way, Johnny Bryant is sitting right there, man. And Donovan Mitchell is right there. Oh, Johnny Bryant, expect to be the next head coach of the New York Knicks.
Paris, one question. Was Taj Gibson a run and gun player? Not really, right? It worked for Taj. He
No,
played with that second unit. No, I'm just saying
But that second unit was a running gun, man.
they were, but when Taj Gibson played, it worked. And Taj Gibson is not a run and gun kind of player. So it could work for anybody as long as you have the right pieces and you have the right coaching. Anything is possible. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree with you, and I agree with Paris, because that's how adaptable Obi is. He can play that flying kind of running gun, and he can play that half-court game. So that even ups the ante on Obi's talent. So good point by you, Paris. Appreciate you, brother. Nick Yak, quickly, all heart, no pass. All right. So I guess you'll put quickly in that deal, I guess. Dre, we know we need guards, but we are happy with the bigs pick up and sign. Yeah, I like the big and Hartenstein. I like it. Thumbs up, Eppin Rican. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Epic.
Eddie Martz, I'd rather keep Obi than Grimes, to be honest. If Obi goes, that means we're stuck with Randall. Yeah.
Facts, 100%.
That's fact. He is stuck. I think Leon Rose, and it seems like our coach, Tibbs, they're enamored by Randall. Why? Maybe they can't move him, Juby. Nobody wants him, or they committed 4 years with him. And that's on the cheap, I guess they look at it. I don't see what they see in Randall, but it tells you how much Utah doesn't want Randall. Utah
Knicks management wants Randall here. They brung him, ladies and gentlemen, they brung Randall to the playoff series last season. Julius Randle sat with Allen Houston and Worldwide West to watch Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. What does that tell you? Listen, you're going to be playing with these guys next season. How do you feel? Do you think you can mesh with them? That's what that was about, guys. Look out for that.
Tampering? Do I hear tampering there?
How do you say that? How do you say that?
Let's see what happens. Hey, Eddie, appreciate you. Thank you. Bobby Santiago, that's my family surname, Santiago de Puerto Rico, el ombligo de Puerto Rico, Orocobis. Thank you, Bobby. Why does the message from Utah says it's a haul? It's a haul because you think about it. It's 5 picks. It's Obi. It's Fournier. It's Grimes. I would call that a haul. Would you call that a haul?
Yeah.
And maybe there's more to it that we don't know of. So that's just the particulars that mentioned, Bobby. So there could be more to that trade than what it is, but I think that's a haul. You get a Grimes, a Obi, you get a Fournier, and you get 5 picks. That is a haul to me. But there's probably more involved that we're not. That's probably why this deal hasn't been finalized. They're still probably threading the particulars on this trade. So thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you, brother. Paris, Obi is the better fit with the starters. Listen, Paris, we agree. We agree with you 100%, man. But they've made the decision. Julius Randle will be the starting 4 for the next 4 years. They're going to have to stick with him. I think he can have a bounce-back season, man. We all make mistakes. We all have bad seasons. We all say things we don't mean. I've done it at least. I know a lot of Knick Nation has done it. But we're not in the eye as Julius Randle is. I think we would know better by insulting Knick Nation with the thumbs down. We would know better by putting your hand and saying all these gestures against Knick Nation. That's a no-no. I'm pretty sure he regrets it, and I'm pretty sure he's going to bounce back now that you have Brunson here to lead this team. Yeah. I'm willing to give Julius Randle a second chance. Thank you, Paris. Kevin, Aaron, love you guys. Zenray and Juby, thumbs up, comment, everyone.
Let's go. Appreciate it.
Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Thank you, Kevin, Aaron. Nick Yak, plan was for 23 drafts. No coach, no GM were anywhere until after the 23rd season. Okay. Plan was for 23 drafts.
2023 draft with no coach, no GM going anywhere until after the 2023 season. That's what I'm trying to dissect that comment.
Yeah. Nick, specify. We're trying to catch up with the chat, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Tricky, you guys have a great night. Salute.
Salute, Tricky. Appreciate the comments, man. Thanks for stopping by and showing some love.
That's right. That's right. Dre in the house. Who backs up Robinson? Sims or Hartenstein? Definitely Hartenstein.
So I think it's going to be situational, in my opinion.
Hartenstein, the money he's gotten, he can spread the floor. He can shoot those threes. Sim's still a work in progress. He'll learn. He'll come in if Mitch is in foul trouble, Hartenstein's in foul trouble. Believe me, Dre, it's Hartenstein. He is
Sim's got those cornrows, guys. If you haven't seen his picture, I'm not gonna display it. But if you guys check out his new hairstyle, look out for that. Sims is ready.
Yeah, Dre, Hartenstein is the guy. The guy can spread the floor, shoot threes. Expect a big year from him. Carlos, it's all fun, guys. Nothing serious. No, we know Carlos.
Of course, Carlos. Of course,
Carlos. We don't know everything. We come to report what we hear. Your opinion and my opinion is as the same level. What you say doesn't mean it's more than what I say, and what I say doesn't mean it's more than what you say.
We're sitting in a barbershop right now where we're just talking sports. We're sitting in a lounge talking sports as fellow Knicks fans, and that's what it's about. It's all about love, guys. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you subscribing. I love your interactions, Carlos. I like you too. We like you. We like that you're honest and you come out here and you give your opinion regardless what people may think it's ridiculous, not ridiculous. No, nothing's ridiculous. We can all have good fun in commenting and just respecting each other. That's what it bottoms down to. Thank you, Carlos. Carlos, once again, I don't think they love Randall. I think it's a loyal thing. Yeah, I agree.
Facts. We said it.
That's fact. Tom Thibodeau is on his blank strap. You can say jock strap, but we'll say
you can say jock strap. It's all right.
We'll say jock strap. And Leon Rose is not too far. He's probably helping him put it on. Who knows? They love Randall. We got
the wine server out of here. The bellhop is gone, which was Alex Burke. Now we just got to figure out the other one.
No disrespect to Leon Rose. I love him. He's the man who's creating all this. So no disrespect. That's only a joking way, and I shouldn't joke that way anyway. That's the Puerto Rican in me. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Tricky at Carlos. I just found these guys a few days back. Up to a great show. Peace out. Hey, Tricky.
Hey, Tricky. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. If they keep Obi, Quick, and Rose, I love it. Wow. Hey, Paris.
We would love it too, Paris.
This is what we're going to do. Nick Nation, who's here right now, our plans, our intentions is to get people live, to come on live on the show to give you an opinion. If anybody's serious about that, Paris, you're invited. Carlos, you're invited.
Nick Nation, you're invited.
Nick Nation, we'll pick different people to come on, at least 2 or 3 people to come on the air with us. The interaction is great when you're writing to us, but it's good to feel the liveness of a person coming on and just giving your opinion. We're going to be starting that in the next few weeks. Just hit me up, guys.
So if you're not camera shy, guys, hit him up or hit me up on my channel as well. And we'll get together, guys. It could be live here with us, talking with us. It'll be a lot of fun.
If you're camera shy, just put a picture in front of you. It could be a dark screen. It doesn't matter. We just want to hear you coming from a voice to voice, kind of mano a mano, man to man type of thing. And I welcome all you guys. Hey, Paris, you're on the top of the list, man. So Nick Yak, another person on top of the list. You guys are welcome anytime, man. I appreciate you guys. King, keep Obi in quickly. I say the same thing, man. That combo and that second unit, it is tremendous, man. Yeah. Keeping Obi in quickly. That's my dream, man. This second unit coming flying, gunning and running. But it seems like one of those guys are gone. Thank you, King. Paris, let's bet that Randall doesn't bounce back. I'm all in on that bet. Someone lend me some loot. Listen, I'm not a betting man in terms of that, but we can work something out on a bet. We can do a friendly bet. We can do some maybe tickets or something like that because me and Juby are working on to donate tickets with us to come to the game next year. We're working on a lot of different things on this channel so we can all get together, not only live on the air, but maybe get 4 tickets. And I'm not talking about nosebleed tickets. I'm talking about decent tickets up front, not all the way in the front, not Spike Lee front, but we'll be around the vicinity and we can all enjoy the game. We'll kind of we'll put a little kind of lottery system out there in terms of.
Yes, we can wear our Carmelo Anthony jerseys. Let's go. I'm just messing with you, man.
So we're working with that, guys. We'll definitely do that. We'll make some kind of bet like that as well. We'll work something out, Paris.
Facts.
Nick Yak, Oakley, X-Man, Starks, Larry Johnson, Sprewell. Woo! Think about it. He's right. Oakley then yelled at the referees. X-Man, Starks. Well, Starks was a little.
That was my favorite. That's my favorite player, guys.
The only one, man. Headbutting.
Starks is the man.
But, I mean, besides that, Starks, Larry Johnson, Sprewell. Yeah. They yelled at them. Yeah, look, it wasn't to the extreme that Julius Randle was at. I mean, he went a little bit overboard. He didn't stop, and he continued to play after. So, yeah, Nick Yak, you make a great point. Paris, I'm a pot stirrer, by the way. We'll keep that in mind.
Let's get it. That's all right. That's welcomed.
Nick Yak, love my wife, but don't always agree, so we can disagree. Listen,
Facts.
I love my wife too, and we disagree on a lot of things.
But I think every person does.
Happy wife, happy life. So we try to keep it as negotiable as possible. At the end, I never go bed mad at her, and she does the same. So
that is the key, guys. That is the key. I'm gonna tell you, if you guys want a happy relationship, never ever go to bed mad at your significant other. In all the years that I've been together with my wife, we've gone to bed once and we didn't sleep that night. We were just upset. So
listen, I don't know if I can sit on YouTube, but the makeup blank is always good afterwards.
Facts.
We'll keep that at that. Let's talk about Knicks, guys. Thanks for the invite. Hey, Carlos, you're quite welcome. You're welcome to come on the show anytime. Just hit me up. Like, if you see me, if we put something on that we're coming on in a couple of days for a show, if you hit me up at my Twitter or hit me up at zenraytv@gmail.com or at Twitter at zenraytv, I can definitely make arrangements for you to come on. Definitely, Carlos, I like Obi, and quickly, but honestly, Grimes has skills.
He does.
Great skills. I agree. That's a guy I hate to lose. And Kevin Aaron, I be bringing my Raymond Felton's jersey to the game if I win those tickets. All right. Listen, it's a Knicks jersey. And Raymond Felton is not a bad Knick. I mean, I liked him when the stint that he was coming. I mean, listen, he was as close as to a point guard that we had. Since then, I don't think we have one.
I got a Chris Childs jersey. So if you go far as back as I do, listen, I could go back, man.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Bounce back from 2010-5 would be some bounce.
Yeah.
I agree. Look, if this happens, let's give this team a chance. Nick Yak, you're a very intuitive, intelligent Nick follower as we are. We know that the Knicks have to make moves. You can't just build this team on blind faith. New York is a city that wants results, not today, but yesterday. What have you done for me lately? Look, I have family members who are salespersons, and they don't care if last week you sold 300 of whatever the company is selling. They want to know what you did, not only yesterday, but what you're doing today. And this is the mindset. It can be a negative, but it also can be a positive. Does this take us over the top to win the championship? I don't think so, but it's darn close. We get another player here after Mitchell. It makes it darn close for the next 2 or 3 years for us to get to the Eastern Conference Final and possibly getting into the finals. So, Nick Yak, I respect you, brother. Carlos, great. Yes, Carlos, you're invited, brother. Appreciate you. Shea Legacy, Randall's been 2010 since the Pelicans. That's not a fluke.
Facts. Yep.
Yeah. Shaw said it. Legacy said it. That is so true. He's been that. Yep. So why is that going to change? And even 2010 last year, and his shooting percentage was down. Through all the negatives, he's still a 2010 guy.
Yeah.
Legacy, you're on point. You're definitely on point. Thank you, brother. Carlos, skinny version of Felton or fat? Either or, man, because he was pretty good both versions. But hey, whatever you feel, man. We'll go skinny. We'll go skinny. But I like that. Nick Yak, we lost Felton in a Melo trade. Yeah, we lost
the first time around. Yeah,
we lost, and he came back again after that. Yeah, dang, that's a good observation, Nick Yak. Maybe Melo and Felton can kind of reunite. Maybe Felton can be his water boy or something in his last hurrah. We got Paris. Randall burned bridges. That's facts. He's done no matter where he does, because one mistake and the fans will crucify him. I agree, Paris. I agree. Look, Juby.
I said that. I said that to Zenray.
I'll let you go on this, but I agree, Paris.
Yeah.
He pulls another fast one this year. Go ahead. I'll let you finish with this one, Juby.
Paris, I told Zenray that same exact thing a few months ago. I was telling him that if Julius Randle is the starting power forward come opening night, us fans who are sitting there at that Garden are going to be chanting for Obi and coming for Julius Randle's head. But what happens now if you trade a Obi for a Donovan Mitchell? Who are you going to chant? You can't chant Obi if he's not with the team, unfortunately. You can still go for Randle's head. So, like I said, guys, we'll see what happens. It all depends on what happens with this move and what the opening day lineup and training camp is going to look like when that time comes.
Listen, Paris makes a lot of good points. And
He does.
Everything is a balance, man. I believe in the yin and yang, man. I'm a Zen man. I meditate. I try to keep myself balanced because there's a lot of street still in me, man. And if I don't balance myself out of my life, it makes me a better person, a better husband. It makes me a better of everything, man. So I think we should give Randle that opportunity, man. I think maybe he can find his balance. And Paris, I agree. The fans recognize Randle ain't the one. Look, he had one. I can't call it a bad season. He had a very disturbing season emotionally with Knick Nation. His numbers were there. His shooting percentage wasn't as high as the year before. But Knick Nation, let's embrace him this one time. And I agree with Paris. You get one more shot with Knick Nation. You come again, putting your thumbs down. Listen, there's a lot of players, a lot of people who made mistakes in New York, and they've bounced back and they've been embraced. So let's give Julius Randle that opportunity, Paris. And I know we all deserve second chances. So let's do it for Julius Randle. We're gonna have no choice because Brunson is gonna make him that much more of a better player. Paris, it's like Beltran. Beltran brought the Mets to the LLC, one of the best players of all time, and they remember when he struck out on the curveball in Game 7. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Beltran got paid a lot of money too, man, and they expected big things from him, man. I'm not a Met fan, but I remember that Beltran got crucified on this Met team. So, good observation, Paris. If they trade Obi, then they keep Randle for now. No, that's a definite. Nobody wants Randle. I've said this in the last couple of shows, and Juby's mentioned it as well, Juby. Randle, Obi, Danny Ainge wants Obi. Randle makes too much money. Obi's still controllable for the next couple of years. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see if this trade is pulled. I think Obi is in the trade. If not, Obi quickly somehow is in that trade as well. We'll see. We don't know yet. The speculations, like I said. Paris, if Obi stays, you can start helping Randle pack because he's gone. Yeah, I think that trade will happen with the Lakers. I think we'll make that trade. We'll bring Westbrook here on his $46 million contract, and we'll buy him out because you can't play Westbrook here and kind of disturb the aura of this team. So I can see that happening. But I think, Paris, you make a good point. If for some reason Obi is not in that deal, Randle is going to the Lakers. Nick Yak, Randle's problem with Obi fans abusing him, calling him wife ugly. Don't get me started. Yeah, man, I think, you have to be thick-skinned, like Juby says in New York, man. Juby says it all the time. You have to be thick-skinned. If you're not thick-skinned, man, you can't play in a big city like New York. Right, Juby?
100%.
Paris, Randle's only path to redemption is if the Knicks win the title and hits the game-winner shot, dead ass. Yeah, but that game winner has to be a game winner like you get to the Eastern Conference final game or something like that, or get to the finals. That's the kind of shot you need from him. And if he does that, yes, I agree. It has to be a big game in the playoffs. Just put it that way. Let's keep it simple. Thank you, Paris. Kevin Aaron, if we give Randle a second chance, Juby has to give Frank Ntilikina a second chance.
No, Kev. No, I'd rather get Ron Baker back in here before I get Frank Ntilikina back in here. I'm done with that guy, man. I listen, this guy right here, my co-host right here, man, biggest Frank fan at one point. He was telling me, Juby, you got to give him time. He has to develop.
I was wrong.
I'm done with him. Listen,
When you have management steering these guys like Kevin Knox and Ntilikina the way they did, look, I'm not going to go there. Guys, we're going into an hour and 40 minutes of the show. We're going to end the show in the next 10 minutes because Juby has a little 6-year-old. I have a little 2-year-old I have to go kind of tend to. And
Yep.
I appreciate you guys.
And I've been checking, guys. I've been checking. Don't think that we've been sitting here. I've been checking to see if there's any new developments. The last thing was that Carmelo Anthony thing. And like I said, it's gonna take a few days. If it's not tomorrow, we'll probably have the weekend bypassed us, and we'll probably know if we're close by Monday. But the deal is definitely in the works because Utah realized that the Knicks have the best package to offer, and once they realize that, now it's only a matter of time.
I totally agree. So Nick Yak, I don't think Randall gives me thumbs down if he was looking at the fans standing and heckling him. Do you think Randall gave you and your thick skin thumbs down? Listen, I don't take anything personal. I have people in my last show criticizing me on my show, and I take everything as constructive criticism. Look, back in the past, being raised in the Bronx in New York City, man, I took a lot of things personal. I just had to grow out of that, man. It's just things are not personal in life, man. I mean, a driver cuts me off, I should take it personal. I should chase the guy down.
Life is too short, guys. Life is too short.
I'm kind of outgrown out of that anger kind of thing. And I understand there's better things ahead of me than me try to prove a point with someone. It's not a battle, man. We're all here for the same thing. We're trying to earn a living.
It's a journey, bro. It's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah, that's all.
We're trying to make our families in a better case. I don't want to get out of line, but if I got the thumbs down and whatever, I got thumbs down. I'll just smile back on you and say, look, brother, I'll do better. That'll motivate me to do better. I'm not going to go off on the fans and the people who support me at Knick Nation, man. So Randall definitely did wrong. But if it was done toward me or anybody else, the question is, can we take it? Can Julius Randle takes it if we gave him the thumbs down? We give him enough boos and we give him thumbs down afterwards. But listen, Randall's a whole different beast in terms of his mental state. So that has to be something we have to kind of observe in this coming season. But once again, I'm just saying that Tom Thibodeau has to doesn't do his best coaching ever. If he doesn't get his team organized, he doesn't get Randall in his face and says, look, do's and don'ts and what you have to do. You can't give him a free ride. You have to make him accountable as every player on that team. If you don't make him accountable, if you did the last couple of years, you're running amok here. And Tom Thibodeau will get fired. And Johnny Bryant will be the next head coach for the New York Knicks. Any last words there, Juby, before we go?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who participated today. You know, Paris, Nick Yak, there's so many of you guys. Keith, Kev, you guys are awesome. Keep coming, guys. We're going to have a lot of content coming up. Like my partner said, we want to bring you guys on the show. Pick your brain a little bit. Just have a good time. Get your opinion on the team. And, a lot of content, a lot of stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. As soon as Donovan Mitchell, whether it's here in New York or somewhere else, me and him will definitely be on here breaking that news to you guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything. Appreciate all the positives and the negatives. Everything is welcome, guys.
It's yin yang, man.
That's it.
Balance. I believe in life, you have to have negative and positive to keep a balance in your life. And that's how we're going to succeed in whatever we're trying to get to in this world. Carlos, Paris, Nick Yak, Keith Turner. You guys are fantastic. Look, Knick Nation, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. It's free. Me and Juby, we get down to nitty gritty. We do it Latin style a little bit sometimes, but mainly, look, we talk Knicks. We love Knicks. We're devoted Knick fans, as well as many of you there. I want to thank Kevin as well for coming on. Who else was on today? Dre. Can't forget Dre. Dre came up with some good points. Tricky Nicky. Bobby Santiago, Epic Rican. You guys are fantastic, Knick Nation, my band of brothers. Never give up, knowing that the best is yet to come. It shall come. As long as you have love, peace, and gratitude. We'll be on tomorrow at 7:35 p.m. Come on, join, and we're going to get a lot of things organized for you guys, Knick Nation, tickets, getting you involved in the show, coming on live. So give me your request, what you think can make the show better. Juby is my right hand man. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Juby, once again, I want to thank you. Much love to you and your family. And once again, Juby, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And send Ray out.
Peace, guys. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.